In the beginning, when the Yeshiva Gedola of Miami started, it was housed in a small house. There was one room was the Zal, the Beis HaMedrash where they learned, and the other rooms were the dormitory, and one room was the dining room, the kitchen, and it was big enough. And then, by Tovshin Lamed Vav, which was 2.5 years later, not far from it, the big building of the school was built. Now the yeshiva grew, and the yeshiva became bigger, and there was not enough place in that small house. So Hatzoah came up that we should move the Zal into the big building. That means the dormitory would stay where it is, but the Beis HaMedrash Zal would move into the big building. That on the second floor, we would knock down the wall between two classrooms, and that would become the Zal, and the yeshiva would move in there. So I decided to ask the Rebbe, but as usual, I didn't want to write directly to the Rebbe, didn't want to bother the Rebbe, so I wrote a letter to Rabbi Chadakov, knowing that when he gets such a letter, he gives it into the Rebbe, and the Rebbe answers. So he called me back a few days later. Yes, the Rebbe answered. First, when I wrote that since the yeshiva got bigger, there's not enough place, so we're asking the Rebbe whether we could move into the other building, the Rebbe circled the words that it got too small because the yeshiva grew, and wrote on it, Tach al absurus tevis. Thank you for the good news, which was very interesting. This wasn't like a duch telling the Rebbe about the yeshiva that it grew, and the Rebbe would answer, thank you for the good news. This was derech hagav, by the way, as an introduction. Since we grew, we want to know if we could move into the second building. But the Rebbe picked up on it. The Rebbe picked up on everything that's good, and he wrote, Tach al absurus tevis. Thank you for the good news. And then, concerning the question whether we should move into the big building next door, was not far from the small building, to make the Zal upstairs in the second floor, the Rebbe answered not to do it. And Bapashtas, the reason was because in that same building, even though it was on another side, there were also classrooms for girls. So obviously the Rebbe didn't want that to be. So obviously we didn't do it. But then the Hatzoah came up that maybe we could do the same thing that we planned on the second floor, to do it on the first floor, and break through the outside wall and make a separate entrance. But mainly it would be mamish like a separate building legaba the rest of the school. Wouldn't have any connection to the rest of the school, and there you wouldn't have any connection to the classrooms that are for the girls. So we asked the Rebbe if he could do that. So here, Rabbi Chadakov called me back that the Rebbe said Balpeh. This wasn't written at Zettel. The Rebbe said that Eib the Anhole Gashmis and the Anhole Ruchnis halt as a gleiche Sach kemendoston. If the Anhole of Gashmis, the monetary Anhole, the things like that, and also the Ruchnisdik Anhole, think it's a good idea, then you should do it. And that's exactly what we did. We moved in, and then the yeshiva grew, etc., etc. And from then on, we went to a different place. We came back, made the yeshiva bigger, but that's all not negaya. But what I'm trying to bring out is the Rebbe's answer, and mainly the word that the Rebbe picked up, that even though it was derech hagav, by the way, he picked up on the good news, and he wrote Tach al absurus tevis.